Hey everybody, this is Dr. Lakeisha J. Cole, and I felt inspired and encouraged of thefaithoutcome.com. But I felt inspired and encouraged today to post a video and, just give my heart to people about what I'm feeling right now. And there is a time along your journey that you really have to buckle down and just be inspired, because it gets really tough. You haven't achieved your goal yet and you're really feeling it now, and it's like, I just feel like giving up. I don't want to dream for this anymore. I'm discouraged now because I really have the faith. I know it's supposed to happen. I believe it's supposed to happen. It hasn't happened. I'm getting tired. I'm getting exhausted just dealing with it. And this is for you. I know what that feels like all too well. I know what it feels like to have a dream. I know what it feels like to achieve a dream that looked like it was never going to happen. I know what it feels like to cry your eyes out because now you're just tired. You've prayed about it, you've dreamed, you've confessed, you've read books, you've watched videos, you have received inspiring messages from people saying that it's your time, and that was years and years ago now. I know what that feels like. And I felt inspired to do this video because I was just having a conversation with myself, as I do often. And I just thought and had a moment that I'm just tired. I am just tired and exhausted with certain things. And I am inspiring and I'm motivating and I'm human. And then my spirit spoke to me, as it often does. And I just felt compelled to do something. And I did that. And after that, I'm telling you, I just felt a different shift of energy in a positive direction. And I thought about it, and I was just, again, looking at and thinking about so many things that have come true, and how I felt so tired and exhausted, waiting on them to happen. And now when I speak of them, I don't even feel anything, because it happened, it came and gone, and I've experienced it. I know what it feels like, and just that feeling alone, it really took me back to seeing that along your journey, you're gonna get discouraged. You're gonna feel a disappointment, because there's gonna come a time where you feel like you've done everything and it's time for it to happen, and time just continues to pass. You're getting older, you're experiencing new things, and it still hasn't happened. And it can be disappointing, because it's like, it's supposed to happen. Like, I felt a disappointment because I actually had the faith, and it's like, I knew, and I know that this is in the cards for me, but it just hasn't happened. And I don't understand why it hasn't happened yet. And you start looking at your life and pulling your life apart, and you look at some upbeat things that you feel good about, and then you start looking at dark things in your life that, oh, well, maybe this is why it hadn't happened yet. Or you just go through a lot of emotional thoughts. And I just know that I actually know that I'm in my purpose. I know that I was put on this earth to motivate and inspire. I just know that. I do that every day, one way, shape, form, or fashion. It happens. And I feel good about it. I feel so free doing it. It leaves people feeling better and encouraged. That's always a good thing. I feel so enlightened and inspired every time I do it. So it does something for me. And, I share a lot now because we do have the world of YouTube and media outlets that allow us to share our feelings. And I look at, it takes a lot for your dream to take 20 years. When your dream takes 20 years to happen, or over a decade to happen, what the emotional cycle feels like, and the roller coaster, the ups and downs, what that feels like. And now I was looking at some things that I had achieved that at one point, it took over 10 years. Like, it took 13 years. And now when it comes off of my mouth as a testimony to people, or a story, positive story that I'm sharing, I can't even really take myself back to that moment. Exactly, how it happened, when it happened, how I felt, because it's gone now. It happened and I moved on, but the fact that it happened, it really put me in a different position, and I started saying things differently. And there's just a lot of things that sometimes you have to go through independently before your dream comes true. And I teach and speak a lot about dreams coming true and inspire people that your dream can happen. And I write books about your dream can happen, and miracle manifestation, and limitless, and the Destiny Project. All of these books of inspiration that you can find at thefaithoutcome.com, but that inspire and motivate you while you're waiting. Usually people get those books because they're waiting on something to happen, and you just looking for different resources to be encouraged. And I know what that feels like. And that's one of the reasons why I love writing what I love, because I've experienced it. And no matter what, that's timeless. So for me, even now, I can pick up my own books that I wrote, and that I was, being used by Spirit to inspire. And that's why I can read my words like it's somebody else, because Spirit wrote them through me, and I can be encouraged later on in life about something new that I'm hoping for or dreaming about. And, I felt just this moment that for anybody who is feeling bad or revengeful in any way, for some reason, I just feel that if you are feeling revengeful, like you need to do something bad or get back at somebody for something that happened to you, don't. Like, this message, that's specifically for you. Don't do it. You're better than that. You deserve better than that. And once you cross that line of, I gotta do this because somebody did this to me and I feel this kind of way, that is when you actually win the tug of war. You pull all those problems towards you, and then you're in a bad place in space, and now you have to live the other side of that. So don't do it. And I just want to let you know also that your dreams are not waiting for you to right any wrongs or anything like that. Like, your dream has a certain time, and there are certain things that you have to achieve and overcome, because that once your dream comes true, once you become that dream, there is a certain life that your dream has after it, and you have to be strong enough and equipped to live that dream, beyond that dream rather. And I just look at myself now, when things hadn't happened that I was hoping for and hoping and wishing that would happen, and they hadn't happened yet. And it's like, now that they have, I'm in a totally different space. I'm doing different things. I'm experiencing different things. And I'm a different type of inspiration for people, because I have a different story now. And I've achieved things that, hadn't been achieved yet. And, there are just messages, universal messages that come to you at the right time. And they just shake you, in a good way, and wake you up when you're in a drought, when you're going through that time space, when you're waiting for that thing to happen. It can get really dark and gloomy and tiresome and exhausting and emotional, and it can be physically draining, really. But I had this, this image today. I'll put it that way. I had this image today where I was at home, and I was in the backyard, sitting, I guess, at the table, and I had one of my books in hand. I don't know which one it was, because I have 13 now. And you need to go get one or two or three or more. They'll help you. But I had one of my books, and I started the conversation of inspiration. And then I looked around, and as the conversation continued, I was saying things, new things that I had achieved, and I felt so good and inspired to really stop and look around and see that I'm living my dream. Again, I guess 2004, 5, and 6, I was telling people, classmates, that I was going to be a motivational, inspirational author and speaker on mind, body, and spiritual healing. At that time, I was learning really how to properly just do certain things in my life that became necessary for my dream. But like, even teaching and looking at all the students, like, the longer I teach, the more students I have. And because I teach college specifically, I meet a lot of people who are in the process of their journey for their educational goals, but other goals too. And I realized that, even that, like, it had a place in my life. I had to be, part of my journey was I had to be a university, college professor, instructor to people, and like, they're from all over the world. And that was a part of my dream. You know, you just never know how it manifests specifically, but I had an opportunity for it to come, and in such a way that, like, I was just looking at so much today, and things that, you know, I remember specifically, like, praying for, you know, begging God for some things, and I didn't really understand how it was going to happen and when it was going to happen, and to just the gift of being able to look back and see things that you've achieved and how they happen. It's a wonderful feeling, because you can go back and really see how it happened, you know, and when you're dreaming it, you don't know how it's going to happen. And you can really go back and put the pieces of the puzzle together and really see it and be inspired and feel really good. But I had an interesting day, but I just really, I'm grateful. I want to say again, thank you to every person who watches my videos, every person who has read words from my books or any of my books. I want to say thank you to every person who has watched my videos, any person who ever left a positive comment, because you're a part of my journey, and you are a part of my dream come true. And you know, because I wanted to speak and write to the world, and I'm doing that. And you know, like I said, when your dream takes when you have an opportunity to look at decades of your life that have gone and happened for that dream to manifest, you have seen a lot of change. Like, I've seen so much change before the dream came true, and I saw what it felt like emotionally to go through, you know, just wanting and hoping and dreaming and praying and waiting and learning to be patient and all this stuff. And now I'm living it. I see it. It's manifested, and I'm grateful. I just want to thank you. I want to thank everybody who shares my videos. I just want to thank you for being a part of my journey, and I want to continue to inspire you and let you know that if you're waiting on your dream or something to happen, as I always say, I don't know what your dream is, but I knew what my dreams were, and I knew what it felt like to be discouraged, and I know what it felt like to cry, you know, waiting for it to happen, and to motivate and inspire myself and to be happy waiting on it happening. I knew both of the feelings. And I write the things that I write from my heart, from my passion, out of my spirit, my connection with God specifically, to write. And so I know that the material is destined for people, certain people, to hear those words being read and to see those words coming up off the page, you know, and into their lives. Like, I know that. I don't doubt that at all. And I just want to, you know, even say thank you for me, you know, for answering the call and being willing to say yes. Yes, I'll write the books, and yes, I will post the videos. Yes, I'll do the speeches. Like, because I meet so many different people, and you know, when I hear people, when I'm able to hear a person or witness a person hugging me and whispering in my ear that that message was for me, or it's such a humbling experience, to even have students who feel like, happy that they're in my classes or that they've had an opportunity to meet me. Like, that's so wonderful. And I don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly. And that's why sometimes I'm still hard on myself a lot, because I know how serious it is for me. And I always want to be in a good space mentally and physically to be able to do it. And I feel like if I'm not there, or if I'm discouraged, or I'm having a day, I really take it so seriously, because it's like, oh, I don't want to do anything to not be able to carry out this thing that I have that is so much bigger than teaching and writing books and being me. It's just, bigger than that. And I just want everybody who's on my channels to, continue to even keep me in your thoughts of positivity and in your prayers for those of you who do, because it's a lot. And I really take it serious, and it really means a lot to me and everything to me to be able to do this and continue to do it, because I get physically tired just like anybody else. Sometimes I have things on my mind and I'm going through things individually, and I try to be so strong that I don't really always share what I'm going through. And when people don't know what you're going through, they don't know how to help you. They don't, they just like, okay, well, how she is. So they just stand back and, try to leave you alone, let you work through it. And, sometimes they don't. But I just, I'm grateful. So for anybody who does pray for me and, sends positive wisdom out for me, thank you, because I need it too. And I love to inspire people. So it feels so good for me to, get a random message from somebody inspiring me, even if it's just saying what some work that I've done or am doing is doing for them. Like, that's still inspiring for me, and it keeps me going. So, but yeah, I do. I just want you to be encouraged. And for those of you who are feeling dark, in a dark place, in a dark space right now, like, you're watching this video and it's not all about motivation and inspiration for your dreams. You're feeling dark, and I'm here for you. This message is for you, because I know what that feels like, and I felt it more times than I want to, and I know it's real. And I just want you to just look to the light. And you may say, well, what does that mean? Or where is that? The light. When you're in a dark place, when you're really in a dark place, in a dark space in your life, I promise you, you'll know what I mean. Like, there is just a light. A light. I can't even explain it to you. Like a spiritual light that just shines in your direction, and it pulls you out of that mess or whatever it is that you're thinking that is not good and that's not positive. And there are so many things that we experience in life, and honestly, sometimes people don't care, or they don't know how to care. And it might be somebody giving you a positive message, or it may just be, you're by yourself and something happens that snaps you out of it, and you're inspired all of a sudden, or you're encouraged. It's just, you're supposed to be here. You are supposed to be here. You are needed. You are appreciated. You are thought about. People who know the words of prayer and believe it and have good intentions, because, not everybody thinks the same. They're praying for you, and their prayers are honest and good and meaningful. Just hold on, and like I said, don't do anything that you think is foolish because of how you're feeling. You're not alone. You're not by yourself, and there's so much more for you. And this is one of those things and those moments that you have to push through the darkness to see the light and follow the light. And you're loved. You're loved. And there are people who do care about you, even if you feel like everybody's in their own world doing their own thing, or just any negative thought. When you're feeling dark, you get bombarded with a lot of negative thoughts. Some of them are true, some of them are not. And so just hang in there and know that you can get through it. Find your way through. And just don't answer that call that is trying to discourage you to believe that you'll never do this or have that or be this or get through this, because it's a lie. It's a lie. And I think I'm going to end on that note. This is Dr. Lakeisha J. Cole of thefaithoutcome.com. If you have not been to my website, if this is your first time seeing me, go to thefaithoutcome.com. Thefaithoutcome.com. I am Dr. Lakeisha J. Cole. Have a great night or day wherever you are.